Go ahead and fast forward to 90 seconds, and that is when we will begin. What's up, Dan? Oh, y'all, what's going on? Yo, what's up? One of my favorite commercials of all time. Series of commercials, too, because there's also the what's up? What's up with you? Oh, nothing much. Prime, do book. Come on, Prime, get healthy. What are we doing? This is that what that? Or is it? No, that's just like a high five. I'll give you a high five. Air high five. Yo yo yo, what's going on? Go ahead and please heart, please like, please retweet. We're gonna wait another 35, 40 seconds, then we'll start. Wall gang, sup? Hurt hand, I know. 2K finally added all throwback Suns jerseys from the 90s. I did not know this. So we got the white fireballs too? If that's true, I will never play with any other uniform than the white fireball. I was not aware of that because, I'm still waiting for the real release tomorrow. I guess I can digital release it tonight. Maybe I'll do that. I might do that. White, purple, and black, all playable. Oh, man, that is so cool. That is so cool. Oh, shoot, I'm excited. I haven't been this excited for 2K game in years. All right, so guess what? We're 90 seconds in, so welcome to Valley of the Suns Live, the weekly edition. My name is Adam Maines. I'm your host. I'm your site editor. I'm your friend of the Sun. And yes, I know, before I start, I will just, I know what you're all thinking. And thank you. I appreciate it. This is a new shirt. So, yeah, your comments, you can withhold them. No, so I'll explain to all the men out there who have ever had a beard. I will take 30 seconds, so please don't leave just because of this. Very briefly, I was trimming yesterday, and as many of you know, when you trim a beard, I have the little brush, and I'm brushing out the comb, that's attached to the razor, and I was a little flippant. I had like YouTube on or the radio on or something, so I was like listening, and I wasn't really thinking, and I went back to do this, and I was on the one setting. Because like I said, I was just cleaning out. So I needed to be at 7, and I was at 1, and I went, and I tend to do that about once a year. So it'll be back in full force. This is a day already. So, it comes back. It'll be back in full force in a week or so. So, all right, I was told Booker was dancing on a table and fell off at a club. You hope not. Oh, you hope it doesn't come. Oh, no, I need that beard back. I look like I'm 16 years old. I'm a freaking college teacher. I gotta look older than I look younger than my students right now. I've got to appear at least their age, if not older. And right now, I look too young. But no, he might miss the first few games, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys. And go ahead, we are a minute in, so please heart, please like, please retweet. We are live on Twitter, Periscope, YouTube, and Facebook. I am not worried, and I wrote this last night, and I had somebody local with a little bit of a name. Retweeted my post this morning and said that it's all pure speculation. Everything that I said was pure speculation. My answer is, duh. That's all I got. I'm not Booker's boy. It'd be cool. I'm not. I wasn't in the meetings with the medical team, with the medical staff. I was not consulted on what should Devin Booker do about his hand. I am guessing straight across with my opinion. But my opinion is as such. I'm not worried. The Phoenix Suns, Robert Sarver, would have never signed Devin Booker to a $158 million, or 53 or whatever, it's $150+ million max contract if he was not infinitely, confident that his hand, whatever, his hand or whatever would be, would not be an issue long term. So should Booker really miss any games to begin 6 weeks and 22nd? Yeah, I would rather, truthfully, him to miss a couple of games. Just miss a couple of games just to be safe. I suppose. He's going to miss all 6 preseason games. Big whoop. So all this does is delay the start of Booker Ayton. Except for now, we start the season 2-10 and start another taking year. Were they going to do any better than 2-10? I guess I predicted 8-8. I want to say through 16, but I don't see him. He can play lefty, but he still. He had surgery the right hand. You don't want to hurt it. I don't see him passing up on the first game on ESPN, though. Actually, you know what? I should pull up the schedule and just see. And I'll have that in mere moments. I didn't know that they had a game that quickly on ESPN. Okay, so schedule, done. McKellar, Troy with D book out. I'll bet it's Troy because they ran with Troy last year. Okay, it doesn't say. My schedule doesn't have TV. So, what game was the TV game? Was it the Oklahoma City? It looks, or was it the Spurs Wednesday night? What game was the ESPN game? I said TV. Obviously, they're all on TV. Oh, season openers ESPN. Oh, it's Dallas. Oh, that's right. Well, I mean, if he's not, fully recovered, they're not going to let him play. Especially because they do not want it to linger throughout the rest of the year. Like, this is something they want to get rid of and be done. Kobe had history. So, yeah, professional athletes have surgery all the time. All the time. I mean, I got to imagine that most professional athletes have some sort of procedure done, and I don't necessarily mean surgery in particular, but some sort of procedure done once every couple of years. So to me, I mean, this is probably precautionary. People have been saying, well, why did it take so long? They didn't know. I mean, obviously, if they had known, then they would have done it a couple months ago, but that's something else. If it wasn't an issue, even if you could play with the pain, if they're like, you can't hurt it anymore, it's torn, which is what they were saying today on the radio. If it's strictly just a tear, and they were like, well, it's not going to tear anymore, you can't hurt anymore, it can't cause any long-term damage. If you can sit through the pain, maybe we give it a shot every time I want to go out, that kind of thing, then you can play through it. And the thing of it for him is this was an important summer. He had he had the USA summer, the USA training camp, because he's setting up for he's going to be in the rotation to potentially be an Olympian, and it's his first summer, with DeAndre Ayton, and I have to imagine they practice a bunch together. So he might have said, I would rather play for USA if there was ever, the option on the table for surgery early, right after the year ended or in June or July. If they said, okay, you could have surgery at some point or you could play through it and, just get through your summer, that might have been his course of action. Be like, I want to play for USA because I want to prove that I can be an Olympian. I want to play with these guys. Plus, he wants to recruit. Who knows? I mean, it was Damian Lillard, if I recall, was there. Maybe he was going, Dame, come to Phoenix. We know it's not working in Portland. Come play with me in Phoenix. Come, me and Ayton. Come on, brother. So maybe he wanted to do that. Again, maybe he wanted to practice with Ayton. And so if he had missed the summer, the bulk of the summer, maybe he would not have got as many reps in. Not to mention Mikal Bridges. Maybe he knew that there was a chance he was going to be running point. He wanted to just get those reps in so that he wasn't trying to crush it all before the start of his training camp and then preseason. He wanted to have some time, and it's like, okay, I've got my work in, my summer work, now I can rest for 6 weeks, that kind of thing. Nobody cares about the preseason because he's been playing all summer, that kind of thing. Because I would like to point out one thing that I noticed. He can work on his defensive stats and positioning. Well, he can shoot too. So that's the other thing. So maybe he was working on his offense over the summer. And again, this is pure speculation because they haven't shared anything with us. Maybe he was working on his offense all summer, and now it's like, okay, now I'll have the surgery, I will rest, and I will heal. I keep pointing the wrong hit. I'll rest and I'll heal, and I'll play, I'll work on my defense, and I'll be okay. Again, it's speculation. Who the hell knows? I am not sensing conspiracy theory, and only because they re-signed him this summer. If they had not signed him this summer, because remember there was talk that they might delay the re-signing. If they get anybody, I mean, Beverly, I'm still on the Dinwiddie bandwagon. But if they had delayed the extension for another summer, because remember that was a discussion point that, well, they could save $18 million if they had delayed it until he was a restricted free agent. And then he had the surgery at this time, which obviously this seems to have been a biological fate, if you will. I mean, it seems like this was just in his body's timeline. Then I would have questioned, wait a second, maybe they didn't do the extension because they were worried about the surgery. The fact that they did the extension and the surgery, I'm just not worried. Does this push the need for point guard quicker? Yes, Booker pulled up. Say that one more time, Booker pulled up. We're at 10 minutes in now. Go ahead and please retweet, text everybody and let them know we are live until at least 7 o'clock, but I will do overtime. I'm not quite sure I'm going to be able to hit double overtime. I'm going to go to a viewing party for the Rams. My family is huge Rams fans. I'm a Cardinals fan, but I got to represent my family's second team. So just saying, that's just me. I just don't see conspiracy theory. Yeah, it's odd timing. I'm not gonna disagree with that, but oh, I was at the ASU game. Let's go Devils. I was there on Saturday. Devin Booker was at the game Saturday. Remember, it was announced just yesterday. Hey, he's having surgery, which he had today. He wasn't wearing a wrap. You know, you kind of figure if it was truly like something dangerous of some kind or something they might be worried about. He wasn't wearing a wrap. He wasn't wearing a cast. Nothing like that. He wasn't wearing like long sleeves. D'Angelo Russell would be great too. I would take either, guard in the Brooklyn rotation, where the target's available for nothing. Well, the guys that can get for nothing are Isaiah Cannon, Shaquille Harrison, Elia Kobo, and D'Anthony. What's his face? Well, I can't remember D'Anthony. I can never remember his last name. I like the name D'Anthony. But he was at the game, so it's just like, and it's not like he's an alum. I've always appeared at ASU games in the past, and I'm sure he's got some connections there. Melton, thank you, D'Anthony Melton. But again, he really wasn't pulled up on the people that beat up Ulyss in the elevator. That's why he got surgery. Yeah, that could be true. Clippers have like 17 players, so we better trade for Beverly. I keep hearing that Beverly might be the most expensive in assets, and the truth of the matter is that the three guys that like Gambo is referencing, if you're going to go for guys on a 1-year contract, who all three of them were, again including Dinwiddie, I might go for the least expensive entirely. It doesn't matter. They're not making a push for a playoff team. Not with any one of those guys. Even if you brought in Damian Lillard right away, there's a chance they still finish no better than 11th in the Western Conference this season. So, obviously I want them to press for the playoffs. Obviously I want them to push. But, if it's going to cost too much for Beverly, for a guy that's on a 1-year contract to support the future, I'm not giving up Warren. I'm not giving up a draft pick. Clippers really holding Beverly that high. They got like so many guards better than him. And that's the other thing. He's a little bit older. His contract is 1 year. All three of those guys are, including Dinwiddie, but his is like $8 million. I mean, so it's just I get the cheapest guy that you can trust. No, he got hurt from the fight that was last year. Well, no, the fight was early this summer. Or no, it's just released this summer. It was just released early in the summer, right? I'll give a second round and a bag of chips for Beverly. I'll give some Kroger brand chips, but if it's Doritos you're talking about, no, I'll just do the second rounder. Maybe even put on some restrictions. My hair, I just swear, looks funny without the beard. I'm being self-conscious right now. Anyway, so that's my Booker take. What do you guys think? Is anybody worried? Does anybody think this is potentially something worse than certainly I'm believing it to be? I just don't think it's a big deal. I just think Devin Booker's going to be fine. I'm not too worried at all. Search it. You guys love when I do research, don't you? It's Devin Booker, Tyler Ulyss, It was in Tempe, right? Tempe fight. It was right by. Females in the Devin Booker involved. Okay, so TMZ in an elevator on March 26th. Oh, okay. So yeah, it was. Damn, it was almost a year and a half ago. Okay, so yeah, it was. Okay. All right, it was last year. My bad. I just. Any injury is not good. Yeah, any injury is not good, certainly. And once again, the timing is just awkward. It's just strange, but I'm just not. I'm not worried. I'm really, really not worried. I think it just kind of came up. He saw a hand specialist. The only thing that would have scared me, truthfully, is if during his surgery, because he had this surgery in LA, if during the surgery there had been an earthquake. There was a chance that the guy went real precision, all of a sudden, it's like, no. Hand injury is weird, but again, it's the same hand that he had a problem with last year. I still think we can beat the Mavs, though. Yeah, I think the Suns can beat the Mavericks, too. Cannon, I think, will probably step in, unless they make a trade. I think Cannon will step in as the point guard, and I think he'll be fine, because didn't they... No, they lost that game that Cannon got hurt, didn't they? Oh, shoot. I've got the schedule up. Remind me, it was in the spring, correct? So it was a home game, home Dallas. Oh, it was a win. That happened January 31st. I'm pulling up. Was it January 1st? We blew them out. So 102 to 88. Box score. Just looking to see Cannon's name. Yeah, Cannon only played 5 minutes, so that was it. Yeah, so yeah, they won 102-88. So granted, he didn't start because Booker. Yeah, Booker must have started at point. So it's Booker at point, Josh Jackson at the 2, TJ Warren at the 3, Marquise Chris at the 4, Tyson Chandler at the 5. Bender was the 6th man, and then Duds and Daniels. So, yeah, I'm really just not worried. And yeah, you're right. The Suns probably could beat Dallas even without Booker. I think with Cannon starting, and then Shaq coming in off the bench. I mean, think about the depth they have now with Trevor Reeves at the power forward. No, Marquise Chris, but Dragon Bender coming off the bench, and Ryan Anderson. Think about the depth they have at center now. Tyson Chandler might be the best backup center in the NBA. Think about their depth at both shooting guard and small forward. You're going to start Josh Jackson. You can definitely start TJ Warren, or if they bring TJ Warren off the bench because they start Troy Daniels at the 2. Now you've got double bench duty with TJ Warren and Mikal Bridges both coming off the bench. Again, you all know how much I love and respect Troy Daniels' game. That game against Dallas, he shot 3 of 7 from 3. Those were all 9 of his points. Those were all 7 of his field goal attempts too. So he shot 43% from 3. So it's just like, yeah, they're going to be better than Dallas. I know that Dallas added a couple of guys, but so Bridges is 4th string at small forward. No, I guess he'd be 3. But he'd probably be a rotational guy, both the 2 and the 3. Obviously, you're going to have Booker starting when healthy. Then you'll have Daniels coming back up. And then you can have Josh Jackson play the 2. And then, yeah, at that point, Bridges could play, the 2 as well and be the 4th string there. But you've also got the 2K has Bridges as a shooting guard. But he can also play small forward. And so you've also got Bridges being able to be the second small forward, because you could have Josh Jackson be a 2 guard and have a lineup with say starting lineup of say Josh Jackson at the 2 and TJ Warren at the 3. Take those guys out, put Troy Daniels at the 2, Devin Booker at the 1, or Shaq Harrison when Booker is out, and then put Mikal Bridges at the 3. And that works. And then you can put Ryan Anderson at the 4 to give and I really hate this term, but it works, but to give Trevor Reeves a blow. And so I mean he'll get play. He'll be the 4th shooting guard, but he'll be the 2nd or 3rd small forward. If Book misses the first couple of games, Bridges get 20 minutes. He'll probably have to at that point. Again, it depends on if they get another point guard. I'll say this. I have this theory too, and I've thought about writing it. We'll see if Booker's recovery truly is only 6 weeks. If it's only 6 weeks, and in like 3 or 4 weeks when we get our next update, not forgetting about Davin Reed too. We'll see. I'm still not sold on Davin Reed. I know he had a nice summer league, but I'm still not sold. And I think that Mikal Bridges will jump in immediately ahead of Davin Reed. And to be honest, Troy Daniels deserves to start above Davin Reed because Troy Daniels is a career 40% 3-point shooter, and that wasn't just taking 12 attempts. I mean, Troy Daniels is. Let me pull up his stats real quick. He shot how many last year? It was 250. Where is Troy? Okay, here we go. Last year, so he shot exactly 40% from 3 last year. He's a 40.4% 3-point shooter in his career, and he shot 250. Boy, look at me being all conservative. 458 threes last year for the Suns, and he made 40%. I mean, he drained 183. You give him a couple extra games, and Cooley. I know, Cooley was fun. You give him a couple extra games where you tell him, hey, average more than 5.8 attempts a game, and he'll make over 200. And I wrote this earlier in the summer. My prediction, one of my predictions, is the Suns will, for the first time in their franchise history, have 2 players make over 200 threes in a season. And I think if Booker is healthy enough that he could be one of those guys, but I think Troy Daniels can, and I think Trevor Ariza can too. Let me pull up Ariza's stats real quick. Ariza, last 2 or 3 years, obviously he hasn't shot under 40% from 3, Trevor Ariza, since 2010, 2011 when he shot 39.8. So since 2010, so since 2011, 2012, not in the same year, not made 200. No, never. I believe me. I went back and looked to double check. No Suns team has ever, or and remember Steve Nash too. No Suns team has ever had 200 made 3-point shooters in the same season. So beginning in 2011-12, Trevor Ariza shot 41.7, 41.7, 45.6, 40.2, 41.6, 40.9, 41.2 from three. And the last 4 years, he's averaged 6.8, 6.2, 6.9, 6.9 attempts. So again, you give him enough 3-point attempts, and the last year he made 170 out of 462, but he only played 67 games. The year before, it was 191 of 555. If Igor Kokoskov tells Troy Daniels and Trevor Ariza, you go jack up 8 threes a game, they're going to each make over 200. They're each going to shoot over 40%. Now we don't have a starting point guard. Or shooting guard, yes, a lottery. Maybe. At least for the first few weeks or games. But if he tells Trevor Ariza and whoa. I was reading his field goal percentage. Oh, I'm sorry, you guys. Trevor Ariza's 3-point shooting percentage. I apologize. He's only shot over 40% once. If it was following along, I was unintentionally reading his 2-point percentage. I just glanced over and noticed that. So last year he shot 36.8, the year before 34.4, 37.1, 35, and then it was 2013-14 he shot 40.7. My point, though, is that Trevor Ariza and Troy Daniels, and even Devin Booker, throw him in there if he attempts enough threes, any of them could make over 200. And I think this would be the season in which 2 players drain over 200 in the same season. So Trevor Ariza has never done that. He's never made 200. And again, neither has Troy Daniels, but he got, he got close last year, 183. So if he just jacks up another, Ryan Anderson. I don't think Ryan Anderson's going to get enough minutes, though. That's my thing. I don't count him because I just don't think he's going to get enough minutes. How many has he ever made over 200? Yeah, he's made over 200 twice. He made 213 in 2012-13, and he made 204 2 years ago for Houston, 2016-17. So I don't think he's going to get enough because he was a starter for Houston. Started 50 games out of 66 last year. Started 72 out of 72 the year before. He's not going to be a starter for the Suns. That'll be Ariza. And that's my opinion, but I just don't see it otherwise. And then he's just because of that, he's not going to get the minutes. Now he'll be the backup. Don't get me wrong. So he's going to get some 3-pointers, but he's just not getting enough time. And the thing is that too, if Daniels is just a chucker, but he makes them at a much better clip too. I shouldn't say much better, but last year Ryan Anderson made 38.6%. But again, I'll take that extra 14% that Troy Daniels made, and then Ryan Anderson 2 years ago made 40.3%. So I would prefer that Troy Daniels shoots more threes than Ryan Anderson. Again, although I assume that Ryan Anderson's going to shoot plenty of threes. By the way, we are 20 minutes in, so go ahead and please like, please retweet. We are live on Twitter, Periscope, Facebook, and YouTube. Throw out your questions. What you got? We talked Booker's health. So here's my theory. By the way, I prefaced this and then didn't finish that thought. Here's my theory on if we'll find out in 3 to 4 weeks, they'll give us an update. I doubt we'll hear one in a week or 2. It'll probably be 3 or 4 weeks. What is Ryan Anderson on the court for if he doesn't? No, he'll shoot threes. He's just not going to be a starter. No, Ryan Anderson will shoot plenty of threes. I would just prefer to defer as often as possible to Troy Daniels, is my point. So in 3 to 4 weeks, I'm sure we'll hear our first update, major update from the team, maybe even Booker himself about Booker's right hand health and recovery. He'll be the Channing Frye for us. Well, I think Trevor is going to be the Channing Frye, but it's a solid point. However, if in 4 to 6 weeks they're saying, hey, it's a little behind schedule, you expect it's now 8 to 10, the recovery isn't taking place, what have you. I could see the Suns at that point really making a concerted public effort to see if they can trade for that star point guard right away. I could really see them making that push to publicly go, okay, we got to get a star because we really don't want to go 16 and 66 this year. And again, I'm speculating if Booker has to. We don't know. I'm sure. My guess is wear and tear. It's all presumption, but I mean, based on everything I've said, that's my presumption. But again, if in 4 to 6 weeks, right as the season's about to start, I mean, James Harden was traded during the preseason from OKC to Houston. If, say, Damian Lillard, something happens, since like, hey, we're going to be out with Booker for a while. We do not want to go 16-6. We should get our star player now. We can trade. Maybe they're willing to throw a little bit extra to make a trade happen. Maybe at that point they go after Damian Lillard. I've never been a fan of really any other point guard in the NBA. So he's the only one I would just throw a bunch at. But I mean, I could see them maybe going that route. Maybe Ayton probably have him a high five. Yeah, Ayton probably gave him a high five. High five, brother. Yeah. That would be a funny story, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. If they said, yeah, Ayton gave him a high five and tore a ligament in Booker's hand, I would laugh at that. I would find that very, very ironic. And hey, that would actually make me feel good about Ayton. There was a little worry that Ayton might be a little soft in the post. I don't think he'll be soft. So that might be a sign that, hey, Ayton ain't soft. But yeah, I would hope, or I would not hope so much as I would expect that publicly the Suns would make a statement, not from the video, what video? The Suns would make a statement try to make a statement to trade if Booker's going to be out for an extended period of time, to be able to provide another star player on the roster while Booker is out, and at that point, and again, to try to prevent going 16-66 or 20 and what would that be, 62, that kind of thing. They're going to even 25 and 57. They're going to try to avoid that this year, is my guess. That's my guess. I sure freaking hope so, because I'm with you. I'm sick and tired of losing. Which forward am I willing to give up on first for a decent point guard? And a first? Which forward am I willing to give up and a first? You're talking swing? I would give up Josh Jackson in a trade for Damian Lillard. I would not give up Josh Jackson for Kemba Walker. I would not give up Josh Jackson for Dinwiddie, there's nobody else. I would give point guard related. I would give him up for Damian Lillard. Nobody else. So that would be my forward, though. TJ Warren, I mean, I'm kind of feeling the same way. Obviously, I hold Josh Jackson a little bit higher esteem in regards to his potential future as a great two-way player. Excuse me. I lectured for like 7.5 hours today, and then I come here and do this talk show, so I'm a little worn out. But I would feel the same way about TJ Warren. Like, I would trade TJ Warren for Damian Lillard, but certainly not for Kemba Walker, just because Kemba Walker's on a 1-year deal, and there's certainly fear that he could walk. Who is the first forward I would give up? Well, the first forward would be Mikal Bridges, because I've never seen him play, so I'm not worried. Like, I'm not missing out on anything. Second would be TJ Warren. Third would be Josh Jackson. I'll take it back. First would be Ryan Anderson. Second would be Trevor Ariza. Third would be Mikal Bridges. Fourth would be TJ Warren. Fifth would be Josh Jackson. That would be my order. Would I trade TJ and JJ? Yes, but it would be I want a Damian Lillard star-rated player. Who's the first one? Oh, okay, another bot. I would, again, Kemba Walker, I would give them Milwaukee's first and a second and Tyson Chandler, I guess, but that's it. I can't trade JJ and Lillard. That connection with him and Book is something. Oh, I can't trade JJ for Lillard. Well, but think about the Lillard to Booker connection. Might that be more special? I mean, just don't forget Damian Lillard. Just don't forget Dame's stats. Last year, 26.9 points and 6.6 assists. He drops 4 of those points, goes down to about 22, lets Booker stay around 23, 24, and then he gets those assists up to 9 or 10. And you've got an MVP candidate, especially if he's able to drag the Suns into the playoffs. He shot 91. We're talking Damian Lillard. He shot 91.6% from the free throw line, so he's good from the line. He shot 36.1% from three last year. So it's a good and most an accurate shooting shooter. Still averaged 4.5 assists. The most games he's missed was last year. He missed 9. That's the most games he's missed in his career. So now you're talking healthy. He'll be 28 for the entire season. So you're considering that you'd get Damian Lillard for, let's see, how many more years is he under contract? Because I would assume that if he's here, so he's here for 3 years, you can probably have Damian Lillard for another 8 years, which would put him at 36, So it's like, I would do it. If Lillard comes to the market, his trade value would be way higher than, okay, but who is going to, stars aren't normally traded for stars. That's the thing. Stars are not normally traded for stars, so they can offer him up, but it's not like Minnesota is now going to suddenly offer, Karl Anthony Towns. New York isn't going to offer Kristaps Porzingis. The Suns are going to offer Booker. Those teams are going to say, okay, you're trading your star player. We want to put that star player next to our star player. We're not swapping star players. Now, if there's a team, Houston is not going to trade James Harden for him. So that's the thing. If he pushes his way out, I hadn't heard Mario Chalmers, but isn't he retired? Minnesota might offer Jimmy Butler, but okay, that would kind of be the one star for star. And Minnesota doesn't really have a point guard, so that could be one. If it's Jimmy Butler, I still expect at least a first-round pick to be traded as well. But I thought he was retiring. Hold on. Is he on a roster? I don't think he's on a roster right now. Oh, yeah, okay, so he didn't play 2 years ago. He played last year. I don't know why the Suns would have interest in Chalmers, unless he came on a veteran's minimum. Says he signed a contract with Memphis last year, but he's not on a team right now. So he's a free agent. I swear I had read that he was retiring or something. I wouldn't mind trading all of our picks. But that trumps a Josh Jackson every day of the week. I would trade the first round pick. So trade Josh Jackson, and so you have to have a first round pick every year. So this year they could trade Memphis's and then their first round pick in 2020, because I don't know if they could trade the Milwaukee pick and this year's pick. I guess maybe they could. I suppose they could trade Milwaukee pick and this year's pick, and then just have the 2020 first round pick. So that's the thing. Yeah, I would trade for Damian Lillard. I would trade Josh Jackson. It pains me, but Dame is an upgrade. I hate to say that. I love Josh Jackson. You guys know me, but Dame. I would trade Josh Jackson and then the Phoenix 2019 first round pick, and then the Milwaukee pick, wherever that, that'll land somewhere. I would just trade those two. Then I guess they could then trade, say, the 2022 first round pick, 2022, 2024, maybe. That's what they could do. So that would be my package. I would trade Josh Jackson, and then if they want 3 first-round picks, the 2 this year, because we guarantee Phoenix his own in 2020, and then you could trade the 2021 or 2023. Josh be untouchable. Josh Jackson, TJ Warren, Milwaukee, and firsts. Oh, if you're trading both Josh Jackson and TJ Warren, then I withhold a first-round pick. If that has to be done, I offer Josh Jackson or a first. Excuse me, TJ Warren or a first. So then I say, all right, it's JJ and 2 firsts, or it's JJ Warren and 1 first, is how I would do it. Because you're still going to need to replenish, if you're losing 2 starting small forwards right there. Okay, and then let me use Charles Barkley as an example. If the Suns traded for Damian Lillard, that would essentially be, similar to the Barkley trade, in which case they traded 3 starters, Jeff Hornacek, Tim Perry, Andrew Lang, and no picks. So you'd still be playing 3 players. Granted, Jeff Hornacek had been an All-Star in '92. It was his one and only All-Star appearance. But, it's still 3 players, 3 potential starters. And you got to imagine, like a first-round pick, you're kind of hoping to become a starter. So that would be a similar trade. Josh Jackson, T.J. Warren, and a first, especially if it's, say, Phoenix's first. There's still a chance, even with Damian Lillard here all year, that the Suns don't make the playoffs. Let me hit pause for 5 seconds. We are 35 minutes in, so go ahead and please please like, please retweet. We're live until 7 o'clock, and I'll give you this in overtime. Just one, though. Again, I've got to go watch the Rams with the fam. But that's how I would approach that. I'd say, okay, you can have 3 potential starters. And remember, let me check. I don't remember if Andrew Lang or Tim Perry started for Philly. Okay, Andrew Lang started 59 out of 73 games in his 1 year. And then Tim Perry... I saw You Are Getting, and then it faded. You want to say that again? And then Tim Perry started 51. Okay, so all 3 of them were starters. Have Ariza and Bridges. You have Ariza and Bridges, yes. But my point, though, is this, okay, if you're going to make a trade for a star like Damian Lillard, then you're trading 3 players. And if you're trading 3 players, can 2 of them be players... it's trading 3 stars for him. Can 2 of them be on the roster now with Josh Jackson, T.J. Warren? Can 1 be a point guard? So, why would they trade Lillard if they have no other point guard? Well, based on last year, Portland seemed to have been, or he seemed to be upset in Portland. There seemed to be some friction there, and remember he had that meeting with the owner that lasted like 4 hours or 2, whatever it was, a couple hours, and there was talk, there was theory that he could potentially have requested a trade in that conversation. So he was upset too that the franchise did nothing to improve the team. Guess what they did this summer? Absolutely nothing to improve the team. They did jack squat, to quote Rick Farley. But I mean, listen to their roster. It's like the fact that they made it to the playoffs last year. Granted, they were they were swept? Oh, hold on. I'll have it up in a moment. Weren't they swept by New Orleans? Yeah, they were. Okay. So granted, they made it to the playoffs, and they were they were the 3rd seed in the Western Conference at 49 games. Gamble rumors the only we have, for now. You need a Godfather offer to tempt Portland. You need a Godfather offer to tempt Portland without him demanding a trade. But if it demands a trade, Godfather trades are out the window. And once again, I'm just going to say, okay, name the stars in the league. Would the Suns trade Devin Booker for Damian Lillard? No. Would the Knicks trade Kristaps Porzingis for Damian Lillard? No. Would Minnesota trade Karl Anthony Towns for Damian Lillard? No. So you can go through the list of young stars, and obviously LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson. None of those stars are being traded. So you can, would the New Orleans Pelicans trade Anthony Davis for Damian Lillard? No. So if he demands a trade, he puts Portland in a very, very precarious situation, because then they, who are they going to get? At that point, Eric Bledsoe, he torpedoes his trade value, which might be his intention, because he might be like, okay, I'm a star. I don't want to go to a team that's giving everything up. I'm a star on a decent team right now that can't get over the hump. I don't want to go to a team that's going to trade their entire core for me. I want to go to a team that's going to retain their stars and still be good. Okay, well, 2 promising players, Josh Jackson, T.J. Warren. Josh Jackson has been compared by Eddie Johnson to Clyde Drexler. It would almost be, a homecoming of sorts. T.J. Warren would be a really good small forward. Who do they have? I mean, everybody's like all infatuated with Damian Lillard and C.J. McCollum. A, that duo is not getting them out of the first round of the playoffs. And B, Al-Farouq Amino, he averaged 9.3 points. You give him T.J. Warren. Evan Turner, he averaged 8.2 points. And it's 29. You give him Josh Jackson. So that's what I'm proposing in Milwaukee in first rounders. Okay, yeah. So I don't say multiple. I say it's 3. That would be me. If I'm Ryan McDonough and I'm like, okay, if I'm going to make this happen, I'm offering you 2 starters and 1 potential starter and a first round pick. And I offer the Phoenix 2019 first round pick because again, I don't even think as general manager of the Phoenix Suns that if I acquire Damian Lillard and don't have Josh Jackson and TJ Warren, I don't think the Suns are making the playoffs this year. I still think they finish 10th or 11th. Portland drops considerably, so maybe they again, this I go back 25 years, but the Suns got 26 years. The Suns got Barkley for 3 starters. Starters aren't traded for starters. Look, James Harden. Let me pull up. Who is James Harden traded for? I think we sometimes we and I do the same thing. Don't me wrong. And I could very well be undervaluing this trade as well, the potential trade value. But stars are normally not traded for equal, almost never traded for equal value. James Harden was traded for, well, he was traded with Cole Aldrich, Daquan Cook, and Lazar Haywood for Jeremy Lamb, Kevin Martin, a 2013 first round pick, a 2014 first round pick, and a 2013 second round pick. Now, that's a little awkward because Harden was traded with 3 other players. I mean, it was Harden, Cole Aldrich, Daquan Cook, and Lazar Haywood for Jeremy Lamb, Kevin Martin, and then 2 first round picks. So it was 4-4 and then a second. But if the Suns are just going to Portland, if Damian Lillard is like, you guys did nothing to help this roster, how are we going to get over the top? You know, again, they were a 3 seed that was swept and manhandled by the Pelicans, a 6 seed. And he's going, what have you done to kind of revamp this roster? They've done nothing. It's the exact same roster as last year. They're now just a year older, which means that Damian Lillard is now 28 instead of 27, which means that CJ McCollum is now 27 and 26, which Al-Farouq Amino is now 28 instead of 27. Evan Turner is now 30 instead of 29. I mean, so they're still like young and in their prime, but this was a roster that just a year ago got swept by the New Orleans Pelicans. If he demands a trade, that is then when it becomes available. He torpedoes his trade value, and voila. You know, now it's like, that's when the Suns can say, okay, Josh Jackson, TJ Warren, 2 starters. Josh Jackson can play the 2 as well. Maybe can CJ McCollum, start at point. Not Josh Jackson. I would trade Josh Jackson for Damian Lillard because you are trading for a superstar. You know, CJ McCollum should be able to play the point. So you can play CJ McCollum at the point, Josh Jackson at the 2, TJ Warren at the 3, and then the rest of the roster is just, you know, Jusuf Nurkic. All right, you know, big deal. Lillard, Booker, Bridges, Ariza, Ayton. Bench fillers, why would you trade JJ? And yeah, exactly. I'm looking at that starting lineup going, okay, Lillard, Booker, Bridges, great. Ariza, Ayton. And to be honest, at that point, you could put Lillard, Booker, Ariza, and then Ryan Anderson at the 4. And then you do start both former Houston Rockets and then Ayton. And then have Bridges come off the bench, have still Troy Daniels come off the bench, still have Dragon Bender come off the bench, still have Tyson Chandler coming off the bench. You know, so that's still, you trade JJ because you're getting a superstar, a healthy, and at that point, happy. You know he'd be happy playing here because Devin Booker is better than CJ McCollum. And I know that some people around the NBA disagree. They're wrong. Devin Booker is better than CJ McCollum because Devin Booker is a better guard overall. Plus, Devin Booker is 4 inches taller. I will take a 6'7" guy, 6'7" Devin Booker over a 6'3" CJ McCollum. Now, maybe McCollum's a better defensive player, but he only averaged 1 steal last year, so no, he's probably not. So that's A. He's a better 3-point shooter, I'll grant that, but not by like a tremendous amount. B, DeAndre Ayton is better than Jusuf Nurkic. C, Trevor Ariza is no pushover. I mean, he's like, I'd be very, very happy with him if I'm Damian Lillard going, okay, my power forward is Trevor Ariza, I'm good with that. And so now he still has youth because he's still, obviously Ayton, but then Bridges as well, coming off the bench, he still has youth. And then there probably wouldn't be much cap space. You still have, Troy Daniels. So Troy Daniels can shoot 40%, does shoot 40% from 3, so there's your replacement for CJ McCollum. If Troy Daniels shot, 9 threes a game, he could average close to 20 points a game. So Damian Lillard would be happy. You'd be trading 2 starters and a likely still lottery first round pick in 2019. I could be wrong. Maybe the Suns do make the playoffs, but there you go. You can also offer the, hey, you'll get one first round pick, and it's either in 2019, it's either Phoenix or Milwaukee, whoever's is better. That's why you throw the two first plus two players, and next summer your roster is great for free agency. Well, okay, that's the key though. Is yes, Tyson Chandler will be coming off the books, and yes, Trevor Ariza will be coming off the books, but at that point, Damian Lillard, let me get him. I just accidentally closed his stat page. I'm just looking at Damian Lillard's in the 30s, making like in the 30 millions. So it kind of offsets. 3, 2, 1. So 27.9 this year, 29.8 next year, 31.6 the year following. So you're still in a pinch. Trying to just do the math briefly. So if you're trading Josh Jackson, so TJ Warren is making $8 million this year. Josh Jackson is making like 6, so that's about 14 million. I'm guesstimating. So that's about 14 million. And the Suns will be adding 14, so 28 million. So they'll be adding 14 million. So they'd probably be over the cap or close to this year. And then, over not just the cap, but maybe even the luxury tax. Now you then lose. Not only Tyson Chandler's 12 or 13, but Ryan Anderson's, Trevor Ariza is 15, Troy Daniels is 5. Is that what he's making? Is it? It's like 5, right? Or is it 3, 2 or 3? 3.2. Okay, so you're losing 13, 15. So you're losing 31 million after this season. You probably could find a trade partner for Ryan Anderson. So no, that does set you up for free agency. They would still have some cap space, I would presume. Oh, no, because Booker's next cap hit kicks in. What is Booker making next year? Is it 25? Is that on here just yet? 27.2. No, so now Booker's making 27.2. So no, I mean like their roster at that point has been pretty set. So now you're running the future with the core of Damian Lillard, Devin Booker, Mikal Bridges, DeAndre Ayton, and then I hope that Dragon Bender can start draining threes with consistency. And then there's your core, and that really becomes your core 4. So it's still very competitive. You've got potentially your 3 superstars right there. If Ayton develops into that superstar big, now what you really have to do, and I hate to use this name, but now you have to look for the next Robert Horry. If you really are Kobe Shaq, now you add, so who's the great point guard during the Kobe Shaq era? I mean, now you're adding Steve Nash, I suppose. So now you've got Kobe Shaq, Steve Nash. So now power forward, you just have to find a Robert Horry. Maybe a Robert Horry can be Dragon Bender. So it's still a damn good team right there. It really is. That's a very competitive team. And maybe they would be competitive for the playoffs this year if it happens during 2018-19, especially in 2018, the calendar year. But certainly in the future, that's a very competitive team. Now you've got a lot of depth there. I mean, again, Kobe, Shaq, Steve Nash on that same team. A healthy Steve Nash. Remember, he did play with Kobe and Dwight Howard. Steve Nash that is. So for at least a few games, 55 or something. Okobo could be Tony Parker Jr. Boy, do I hope so. If Okobo is Tony Parker 2.0, holy crap, did they just find a diamond in the rough? And that would totally have been a San Antonio Spurs pick too, wouldn't it have been? If the Spurs had taken Okobo in the second round somehow, boy, would that have just been the... And it became Tony Parker 2.0. Excuse me. I tried to hold that one and I couldn't. But then that would be incredible. Now it would be again for the Suns. Boy, the more I think about it, yeah, I would absolutely trade. I would offer the package of Josh Jackson, TJ Warren, the best 2019 pick, and then the problem though. Okay, the 2019 pick and the Milwaukee pick, wherever that lands. And that's what I offer. There's your 4. Josh Jackson, TJ Warren, the 2019 Phoenix Suns first round pick, and then the Milwaukee pick, wherever it lands. Then the Suns keep the 2020 pick, which would hope would be in the 20s, so you're not expecting to be any good. At that point, now you're hoping they can draft the next Michael Finley. You're on board, baby. Yes, sir. I am on board. Oh, thank you for the cat pod. I appreciate it. So we are 50 minutes in. I'll go another 15 minutes. Go ahead and please heart, please like, please retweet. What else do you want to talk about? I am ready to roll. What you guys got for me? I'm so freaking excited for training camp to start now in 17 days. Now that the 10th is just about over, training camp starts in 17 days. Now unbiased. Do you think Portland takes it? Portland takes it. Okay, if Ryan McDonough calls today, NBA 2K opens in 2 hours and 23 minutes. I'm going lockdown post center. You? What do you mean you're going lockdown post center? Explain what that means. I haven't bought it yet. I didn't buy the prime. I'm going to buy the basic. What's down in range roll now? The third shooting guard. Okay, my unbiased opinion. If Ryan McDonough calls Portland right now and says, I offer you Josh Jackson, TJ Warren, and 2 first-round picks, if I'm Portland, I'm listening, especially if there's any truth to when you create the players, if the builds are called. Okay. I haven't seen that yet. I don't know. It's good. It's a good point. I tend to build my player around Jason Kidd. Since I was a kid, I've emulated myself around him, around him as a player. If you had a 5'7" pure defender, don't talk to me. 5'7" pure defender? No, I always make myself 6'3", 220, which is my height and size. So I do 6'3", 220, and I create a Jason Kidd. I like being a two-dimensional triple-double threat. A two-way player triple-double threat. That's my guy. So if I'm Portland and the rumors, shot and sharpshooters are 2 up on the park. Oh, nice. Yeah, and the rumors are from last year are true that Damian Lillard was upset. Then I think they take that call. I think but then I think at that point they're like, okay, if we're considering moving him, then they market that trade around. Then they call New York and say, can we get Kristaps Porzingis? And when I don't know who's in charge of New York anymore. When they hang up the phone, then they call Minnesota. Can we get Karl-Anthony Towns? Then they call. And I don't think they get any takers. I really, really don't. Unless Minnesota wants to offer Jimmy Butler, which is, I think, you're right, that's a solid, let me just see what his contract is. Then I think, Jimmy Butler and, if there's anybody else, then maybe that is a solid trade package that could easily top Josh Jackson, TJ Warren. I wouldn't say easily because Jimmy Butler turns 29 in, how many days? In 4 days. So 3 days. So Jimmy Butler, if Portland is going, we want to compete for a title still, then that's the trade they take. But if they're like, okay, we can kind of slow our roll a little bit and rebuild for 2 years from now, then I think Josh Jackson, TJ Warren, 2 first-round picks are the way to go. That said, and it's entirely possible, don't get me wrong, it was reported that the Suns have reached out to Portland about Damian Lillard. So it's possible this is a similar package to what Ryan McDonough might have called and said, okay, hey, here we go. They really are. The writers have been talking about that, man. You're so right. It's hilarious. So maybe Ryan McDonough called and said, hey, we'll offer you Josh Jackson, TJ Warren, 2 picks. Keep that in mind. And then Portland made a couple calls around the league and said, hey, can we get Porzingis? Can we get Karl? That kind of thing. And as they get shot down every one of those, achieve those phone calls, which I would expect them to, then I would think that then Portland holds on to that Suns package and plays it up against other teams as they start calling as we get closer to the trade deadline, or use that when a team has an injury at point guard. So I'm like, who's the next best point guard? That's under contract for a while. The Timber Bulls. Dude, I love that. Who's the next best point guard that's under contract for a while? Let me see real quick. If anybody's got, let me just look at assists per game and just see. Russell Westbrook, they'd never do. Ben Simmons, Philly would never do it again. And that's the thing. So James Harden. Here's someone never trade James Harden. OKC would probably trade Russell Westbrook. Well, they might not at this point because of George. But Damian Lillard. OKC might trade Russell Westbrook. I'll say that. But I don't think Portland would take it. I don't think anybody wants Russell Westbrook. LeBron James ain't going anywhere. Ben Simmons, Philly does not make that trade. James Harden, Houston doesn't make that trade. So here'd be the thing. If Kyle Lowry goes down, maybe Wall. So that would be it'd be Kyle Lowry or John Wall. Oh no, but here's my theory. You guys are throwing out the 2 names that I would need to come up with. It would be if one of those guys goes down with an injury, then it's like, all right, he's out for the year, and Toronto and Washington still want to make a run at the playoffs. I mean, the Eastern Conference is now up for grabs. Even if they get swept by Golden State in the finals, getting to the NBA Finals would be a big deal for Toronto. It'd be a huge deal for Toronto. It'd be a big deal for Washington. It'd be a huge deal for Washington. So if John Wall or Kyle Lowry get hurt, and there's a way that Portland that they could trade for Damian Lillard, as in that there's pieces that Portland would want, and they could get Damian Lillard's contract on the books while still having Kyle Lowry's exorbitant $35 million. Look at Kyle Lowry's ridiculous contract. So if they could still keep that on, it's $31 million this year and $33 next year. Or John Wall. Where's John Wall's? Where is he? Where's his contract? John Wall. Okay, so John Wall, who, by the way, only played 41 games last year, so who knows? Maybe he does get hurt again this year. His is exorbitant. Oh, his is... Okay, so his is 19... Okay, that's the team. If John Wall gets hurt... Oh, that's the problem. Now you got Damian Lillard under contract next year as well, and the year after, while John Wall is making 37-8, 48, 43-8, and a player option for 46-8. I would be off the same deal to New York for Porzingis. You would offer Josh Jackson, T.J. Warren, and 2 firsts for Porzingis? Okay, well, here's the thing. I agree. I would do the same thing. I would retract one of those first-round picks. Because Porzingis is no Damian Lillard. But, I would maybe do that. I would maybe offer that, because that would be huge. Because now you don't have a point guard, though, unless you are playing Devin Booker at the point. But now you've got your power forward and your center. So now you're big. And boy, are you athletic at that point. With some range. If Ayton's shooting threes, they've got that other bigs have some range. You've got Mikal Bridges at the small forward. Hell, you can put Booker at the 1 and then Troy Daniels at the 2. And now you've got, you still have oh my gosh, think of that shooting. Think of the shooting in that starting lineup with Devin Booker, who can easily drain 36-37% from 3. Troy Daniels can drain over 40%. Mikal Bridges, who presumably can shoot close to 38%. Porzingis, who can shoot 36-38%. And then potentially DeAndre Ayton, who shot 33%. He only attempted 33 threes, but he made 10 of them, or 11 of them, if I recall correctly. So you would only need to distribute around a score a point guard. But you've got Devin Booker. So that's the thing. Oh, that's my chair slides. You've got Devin Booker. So, Booker can do both. He definitely becomes the Steph Curry. I still don't think that Minnesota trades Karl Anthony Towns. Plus, Karl Anthony Towns is not going to be under the max as well, and so is Damian Lillard. And so is Kristaps. So okay, that I shouldn't use that as a reference point. I just don't think they're going to trade. Yeah, what was I going to match anything for? And that's the thing. The more I talk about it, the fewer options I see out there for Damian Lillard too, besides Phoenix. So Phoenix, they won't be able to undersell. I think Portland just says, hey, you know what? If we can't find a package, they tell Damian Lillard, you're stuck, man. We don't have a package that we like to keep our team competitive. So you're going to just have to stay until we get one. But if there might not really be a market. Again, Jimmy Butler makes sense, but Butler's age, does that mean that Portland is going, we can win with Jimmy Butler and Porzingis and CJ McCollum right now? Or do they say, we'll delay it for a year, we will suffer this year, get a better first-round pick, plus have Phoenix's first-round pick, and if they miss the playoffs, they're obviously in the lottery, and it's not going to be hard to miss the playoffs. Then they get a young Josh Jackson, they have a young scoring small forward again in T.J. Warren. They'll have their own lottery pick, presumably at that point they drop out of the lottery. They'll have Phoenix's pick, which could still be in the lottery, plus another pick. That is, to me, that is the trade. If the Phoenix Suns trade for Damian Lillard this year, and it all hinges, I was asked earlier, unbiased, does Portland make that trade? If Damian Lillard demands out, the answer is yes. Because the more I think about it, and I could do some research and see, is there another trade out? And please, if you guys have options, tweet them at me at Valley of the Suns, and even take ESPN Trade Machine screenshots. And I'm talking about what other teams could potentially trade for Damian Lillard that might be competitive with that trade. I would like to see D-Book as an all-star this year. Fizdale said he's going to run such a big man lineup with Porzingis at small forward. Wow. That is interesting. I could see it. I mean, he's definitely athletic enough. I could definitely see it. I would like to see it. I'm not going to lie, because I question its viability, but it's definitely plausible. I mean, I can understand it. By the way, it's 7 o'clock. We're gonna go 5 more minutes. I can only do single overtime. Got to go pick up the boy and go watch the first half of the football game with some family before I have to put the boy to bed. So that to me, that is the trade right there. If the Phoenix Suns trade for Damian Lillard this season, I'm gonna call it Josh Jackson, T.J. Warren, 2019 first round pick, and a 2021 no, and both Phoenix and Milwaukee's first round picks. Boom. That is my trade. That is my package right there. I don't think you need to trade Bridges. I don't think you need to trade another veteran. That becomes it right there. Give me one moment. Excuse me. So that's the package. All right, Ryan McDonough, make that call. And again, that's true. Don't you guys get 2K19 early since it comes out Eastern time? Yeah, 9 p.m. So it comes out at 9. I'm not going to stand in line. I never return old sports games, so I'm probably just going to digital download it tonight. I got to see how much hard drive space I have. So many options. Just hope Mac Daddy doesn't sit on his hands. Do I get credit for that? For Mac Daddy? Credit's all yours, brother. Put it on a t-shirt. I'll wear it on the show. Hell, you know what? I should start a little, what would be the word? What would be the word I'm looking for? I should do a little kind of a game or something where if you guys print cool, like you make cool Suns shirts and send them to me, I'll set up a P.O. box. I'll wear them on shows. But they've got to be like legit Suns shirts. Okay, so no for the trade package? Come on, Cafe. Really? How come? I'd love to know. I got 4 minutes. Did y'all see Don Nelson at the Ring of Honor induction? No. Who's Ring of Honor induction? You mean Hall of Fame? Don Nelson at the Ring of Honor induction? Don Nelson looks like a mob boss now. Oh, yes, okay. I didn't see that, but I've actually seen pictures of Don Nelson recently. He's lost a lot of weight. Hall of Fame, yeah. No, he's lost a lot of weight. He does look like a mob boss. That is freaking hilarious. I've always loved Don Nelson. Here's the tweet. Justin Rowan, I don't know who that is, but Don Nelson about to fight John Wick to the death. That's hilarious. I suggested the trade you're all in on now. Think I missed my calling as GM. Oh, Cafe, gotcha. Yes, you get credit for it. That is your credit. If that goes through, you're right. That was your... Done. Cafe, brother. That is all you. You can have credit. I'm just saying I'm now all in, and I'm stating it right here live on Valley of the Suns. If Ryan McDonough makes a trade for Damian Lillard, that is the package. 100% that is the package. Unless it's less, which I hope so. I would again, I still... Shaq. Barkley was 3 players. I would like Damian Lillard to be 3. By the way, so Damian Lillard will be 28th this season. So then, how old was Barkley? Was he 29? Let me just double check. I'll have it here in a split second. Barkley was 29, so they'd be basically the same age. In fact, Barkley being born in February, so he was 28. Oh, no, he was 29 during the season. Oh, he turned 30 during the season. So he started the year at 29. He turned 30 in February. So they got him at mid-29. He turned 30. He turns 30 on February 20th. We'll have to take back some players, I would think. No, I don't think so. I don't, because the contract, because Damian Lillard's contract is so large. It's so big that the Suns wouldn't be able to take on much contract of any kind. I think we are finishing a little bit here. Yes, don't get me wrong, I don't disagree. By the way, I've got 1 minute left, and I'm going to say goodnight for the week. You are correct. My thing, though, is that if Damian Lillard is truly unhappy, as it was reported last year, then he could be traded. Remember, he was upset last year that Portland did nothing to improve the team. And what did they do this offseason? They added a draft pick. And remember, they had the 3rd best record in the West, so their draft pick was not very good. I don't even know who it was off the top of my head. If somebody has it before I do. They drafted Caleb Swanigan, and Zach Col. Oh, that was last year. Hold on. Yes, fantasy, but who would have thought? And that's the thing. So many stars have been traded recently. So many stars. They drafted Anthony Simmons. That's right. 21st or 22nd overall. Is that what it was? 23rd? So they not only 24th. They not only did not start. Oh, that's right. Did they get? Okay, they got Seth Curry. All right. So he's the backup to Damian Lillard, or the replacement. That could have been it. Think about it. They might have been like, "Hey, we know we're going to lose Damian Lillard. He's going to be pissed." They added nobody. Seth Curry doesn't make Portland a championship contender. He doesn't get them in the first round. Anthony Simmons is a high school project. He might not get 15 games this year if he ever has a career in the NBA. They did nothing to make this team any better. Milos Teodosic is the best option. Pat Connaughton always does good against us. Yeah, I guess. Off the top of my head, I don't recall, but you could be correct. The question is, why aren't they building around? I don't know what the hell they're doing. I would have traded CJ McCollum for draft picks this year. Honestly, I would have done. Well, I'm not sure. I don't know what to do. If I am Portland, okay, here's the thing. If I'm Portland and I'm offered a package of 2 potential starters in Josh Jackson and TJ Warren plus 2 first-round picks, I take it and I rebuild. I do. I take it and I rebuild. We should trade for Clarkson. He always does good hard against this. I would take Clarkson. Who do you think the Suns can get as their big free agent in 2019? All right, this will be the last thing I talk about because I got to go. But let me just see. 2019 NBA free agency list. I've looked at it a few times and I just don't recall off the top of my head. It's not going to be Durant. It's not going to be Klay Thompson. These are all unrestricted. So Chandler Parsons, no. DeAndre Jordan, no. Wes Matthews, no. Enes Kanter, maybe, but I doubt it. Klay Thompson, no. Tobias Harris doesn't make sense. Trevor Ariza will already be here. DeMar Carroll, no. Taj Gibson. Okay, so I'd say like Taj Gibson, if they get a veteran star like Damian Lillard, no, you're going into next offseason going, okay, what proven veterans can we get in free agency to now build, fill out the roster? So if you say that they've traded Josh Jackson and TJ Warren at small forward, now you can go after DeMar Carroll. He'll be 33. Well, that'll be 33 or 34 at the time. So you can go after DeMar Carroll and have him back up Mikal Bridges. So now you've got like this good vet. You could maybe at that point go after Ricky Rubio. He'll be a free agent, depending on cost, and make him as the backup to Damian Lillard. If he's willing to accept it. I don't know, I'm just saying. You could go after Robin Lopez to back up DeAndre Ayton because Tyson Chandler will be gone. Thaddeus Young could do the same thing. So now you get these guys to be reserves, and if you're making a trade. Now, if they don't make a trade, that's the thing. Again, in terms of star players, you're not going after DeAndre Jordan. You're not going after Wes Matthews. You're not going after Klay Thompson. You're not going after, they might go after Tobias Harris, but if they don't make a trade, then that doesn't make sense. There's obviously not going after Kevin Durant. They might go after Kemba Walker, but I'm just not a fan personally. But they might. And after that, there aren't any like stars, and that's obviously Karl Anthony Towns might be restricted if they don't resign. D'Angelo Russell will be restricted. Maybe they offer him a big time contract. DeMarcus Cousins, if he proves he's healthy, maybe they throw everything. But now you've got DeAndre. Anyway, so that just doesn't make sense. Milos Teodosic will be a restricted free agent, but he'll be 32, 33. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of going after star in free agency. Kristaps Porzingis have not re-signed. He'll be a restricted free agent. My thing is trade. I think you go and you make a trade, and for a star. Like if you're wanting to add a star, you go and make a trade for that star, and then you use free agency to fill out the roster with your veterans, your reserves. Rolo would be cool for us to get. Rolo. Why am I not getting that nickname? Who's Rolo? Remind me? Rajon Rondo? Is that what you're saying? Bojan Bogdanovic will be available. He'll be unrestricted. Oh, Robin Lopez. Oh, okay, excuse me. Nope, I have not heard that nickname. Robin Lopez, yeah, he would be cool to back up DeAndre Ayton. It would be funny to bring him back, but I certainly wouldn't be against it. Again, as a reserve, if he would accept that. It would have to be a lesser contract too, but I can't imagine he would be too expensive. Let me see real quick. Robin Lopez, he's making 13.5 this year. Shoot. Yeah, he might be a little expensive. It would be cool, but yeah, he's making. He's making 14.3 this year. Excuse me, he's making 14.3. So anyway, when does Anthony Davis come out? I'll pull that up and again, he would have to be a trade. They would have to trade because I think he's already signed a contract, hasn't he? Tatos could be great for Ayton, Bridges, and Jackson. He's older though. That's the thing. Okay, so he has a player option. So if he turns down the player option in 2020, the summer of 2020, I would guess that, which I don't really think means a whole lot. You're right. He signed with the Bronx free agent, but I don't take that as anything too worrisome. He's a max player, so what does it matter? You know, in my opinion, it's like he should just represent himself. He can just go to New Orleans and go, I'm a max player. Give me a max contract. You know, and then I really want you guys to give me, 100 hours of private flight time on a team charter. Well, okay, it's like you just worked it in. But he's making 25.4 this year, 27 next year, and then he's got a player option for 28.7. So if he obviously declines that, I presume in the summer of 2020 becomes unrestricted free agent. So I'm assuming he's setting up for that. I think that means that I don't think he demands a trade. I mean, unless they don't get out of the first round this year, then maybe, but I don't know. So Anthony Davis, the earliest he'll be a restricted or unrestricted free agent is 2020. That said, I got to go. So thank you very much. I love you all. I do this for you. I will be back in 1 week on Monday at 6 p.m. AZ on Twitter, Periscope, Facebook, and YouTube. And unless you know anything I don't, yes sir, Prime, unless you know anything I don't, I will see you in a week. Go ahead, message me, DM me, send me trades. I'll retweet them if they're really good. I'll certainly comment them. I see on everything. Thank you, brother. See you in a week. Let's go Suns. And let's hope we have some good news about Devin Booker's, surgery and some health. But again, I don't think that's going to come for 3 or 4 weeks. But regardless, we're not going to get a special guard with the timeline qualities. No, but Damian Lillard is at least only 28. And a superstar, whereas Theodosic is 32 and not a star. So it's like now you're trading for a guy at the back end of his prime who was never great anyway. So if you're looking to win, that's my argument. If you're looking to win, you got to go get that guy that's going to let you win. You don't just trade for a guy. I would take Theodosic as a backup to Damian Lillard. I would take Rajon Rondo or Ricky Rubio as backups to Damian Lillard in that fantasy world. Which, by the way, it's not going to be fantasy as of tonight when I can play it on 2K and I can simulate. And I will talk about it later. I gotta go. I'll see you all in a week. I love you all. Let's go Suns. Peace.